Hello everyone, SirMonkeySuit Zappy here, back again with Fate01, episode 8 of season 2, and in the last episode, Maya's fucking dead. Maya's dead. Why is Maya dead? I don't know. I have no fucking clue what happened in like the last, I don't know, like 5 minutes of last episode. I fucking, like, it kind of just got, like, just went against, like, those storytelling tropes. You know what I mean? Like, the whole point is we know Iris Veil's gonna die. You know what I mean? Like, that's been set up from the very first episode, right? So we expect that. So you'd think that, you know what I mean? That you know what I mean? Of all the fucking storytelling throughout, I don't know, throughout at least my whole life anyway, everything that I've fucking seen basically tells me that, you know, oh, well, you know, her personality, her sort of, like, way of life, her ideals are being passed on to Maya. After she's gone, she can, like, a bit of Irie can live on through Maya and she can have her own life. But no, then she immediately fucking dies. Thanks to fucking bloody fucking Ryder, whatever the fuck his name is. Which, if I need to see what happened. I need to see exactly what happened with that cut out of last episode, like, that ended up in Ryder, you know, fucking off with Irie and Maya's left to die. I need to know what happened. Because, I mean, throughout this whole thing, right, Ryder has been, you know, he's been one of those servants that is sort of more or less sort of on the, what you'd say is like the, like, you know, the good side, essentially, you know what I mean? I'd get it, you know what I mean? It's kind of like a show where the lines are blurred a bit. It's more just shades of grey as opposed to black and white. But, you know, if you are to split, you know, split the characters between good and evil, Ryder generally is on the side of you know, of good and honor and shit like that. So I don't know if it's a case of, like, maybe there's a, you know, a sense of, like, urgency. We're kind of coming up to the end now, where they're just like, oh shit, you know, I can see them being like, oh, you know what, fuck it. It might not have even been Ryder. I mean, Waver could have, I don't know, Waver doesn't strike me as that kind of person to, like, command them to fucking, although it could have been like a second hand kind of thing. Like, if Waver had commanded him to be like, I command you to go get Irie by all means necessary, and of course if Maya's not going to let that happen, then unfortunately she, you know. But I don't know, I feel like between those two, between Waver and Ryder, I feel like the bond there is strong, so there's no need for Waver to really ever use his command spells, you know. So I don't know, but regardless, Ryder's got Irie now, and he's fucking off. Saber's chasing after, and for all we know, Maya's dead. Somebody did clarify in the end of last episode. I was confused because obviously Maya just died. They didn't show the actual attack taking place, and the title of the episode was like Assassin Returns. I got really confused. It was basically clarified. You know, other people were confused by it as well when they first saw it. Essentially, it's meant to mean Kiritsugu. That's what it's meant to mean. You know what I mean? And in the original Japanese, because you can't 100% translate Japanese to English, there's like a sort of lost in translation thing where, like, the assassin that Kiritsugu is supposed to be versus the servant assassin is actually like different characters in Japanese, and they mean like different things. So that's what it's meant to be, and it makes sense because in the last episode, you know, Maya said to Kiritsugu like, "Oh, you look like you did back then," kind of thing, you know, like back when he was assassin, I guess. You know what I mean? You look like your old self and whatnot. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's going to change my opinion of Ryder if, and you know what I mean, if, I don't know. We're just going to have to see. So yeah, we're just going to get into it and see what we get. So without further ado, let's go. Okay, episode 8. Fucking. It's so, like, I can't. Why is it Kariya has to go? Why is it that it has to be Kariya that has to go through all of this shit? It's fucking, honestly, he's like the fucking, you know what I mean? He just gets played around with by fucking everybody. You know what I mean? I never saw like the way that it played out coming. Like, I thought he shows up at the church that, you know, I mean, Kariya obviously told him that Tokiomi was still alive and whatnot, and, you know, I get it. Even though after, I wasn't expecting the setup for like Ari to be there, and that is just, it's just fucked. Like, and I can't I mean that has cemented it. Like, Kiriya is at like the top of the list when it comes to people that I hate in this show. Like, he's just there now. I said during the reaction, I want Emiya, because I don't think Kariya's going to get the chance to. I wish he would, but honestly, by the amount of fucking times the show fucks him over, I can't see him getting a happy ending at all. And so my only hope is that Emiya is the one to do it, and I would just love a whole episode dedicated to just Emiya torturing him. I just want him to fucking suffer. I just really want him to suffer. I want to see him scream. Like, I want to see that fucking blank-faced motherfucker scream and fucking just, you know what I mean, be begging for fucking Emiya to kill him, and Emiya just won't do it. But that's not Emiya's way of doing things, is it? So I don't think that'll happen. I just want it to happen, though. I just really want it to happen. Yeah, I figured, I said like episodes back, Kariya, I feel like, has a sort of, this whole thing against Tokiomi, the reason why is because obviously he has an affinity for the family, being, you know, Aoi and the kids. I remember saying that maybe he actually loved Aoi, and that's the reason why he's always had a problem with Tokiomi, and then the whole thing with Sakura has just amplified that like 10 times as much. And I think I was right. I think the show was confirming that he actually loved Aoi there at the end, and then that he would kill her. I knew, and I saw him going off the deep end there at the end. But like, and I said during the action, I said like, she deserves it, but she doesn't. What I mean by that is like, I know it's on purpose. Like, the point is, it's supposed to be tragic. It's supposed to be like tragedy. That's what it's supposed to be. You know what I mean? But like, in my fucking, just watching it, okay, I get it, right? Aoi comes in, right? I mean, I don't know what Kiriya did to basically to tell Aoi to come to the church. Like, I don't know how he got her to go there. You know what I mean? Like, how would, why would she have gone there? You know what I mean? So depending on how she was called to the church depends on, well, that could change things, because then it would be like, well, was I like not smart enough to figure out what was going on here? At the end of the day, when she, obviously, you know, even though he didn't kill him, right, Kariya went there with the intention of killing him, right? Now, as far as I'm concerned, and as far as, as a viewer, as far as I'm concerned, I think he's well within his right to do so. You know, I've seen everything from Tokiomi, you know what I mean, and you know, I've made it clear of like my thoughts on his, you know, getting rid of a child, you know what I mean, and giving that to, giving that to that family. Even if he doesn't know like what actually goes on, I still don't agree with the fact that you remove You know what I mean? Oh yeah, just go, like, leave. To a kid, I don't care about, you know, mage society and that, oh, it's better this way. That can fuck a kid up. Even if that kid, even if Sakura, right, had been given to, like, an actual nice family, you know, that can still fuck a kid up mentally, right? Essentially being disowned by her parents. So I won't forgive Tokiomi for that. I think Kariya is well within his right to despise Tokiomi for it. And obviously I know that he was going there to the church to actually kill him. So when I was like, and you know, when I seen what was happening, and then immediately judged Kariya to be the one that killed him, that Kariya was like, oh no, it wasn't me. So, like, you know, it's sort of like a play on kind of like a weird thing of like, well, you were going to do it, Kariya, if you had the opportunity to do it, but you weren't the one to kill him, right? Fair enough, but you would have done if you had the opportunity. Okay, so it's not that I sort of, like, you know, I sort of pass that off as like a, you know, it is what it is. The whole thing of like, oh, he's saying that she deserves it but she doesn't, right? Of course she doesn't deserve to die for it, right? But I am well within my fucking, I look at what fucking Kariya's done, right? What the fuck he has been through compared to, like, you know what I mean? What he's had to fucking do throughout this show is, I just honestly, I think he's suffered. I think he's suffered more than the other ones. I think Emiya's up there as well as people who's suffered, but you know, like, he's been through fucking so much and done so much to put his life, right? To give his life so that Sakura won't have to, right? And Ai treats him like that. Of course, yeah, Ai doesn't know what's going on behind the scenes and everything like that, but we as a viewer know what the fuck's going on. I have to look at that, and obviously I'm not, like, you know, I'm not going to sit here and say I enjoyed the fact that Kariya killed her, because obviously I'm not. You know what I mean? And I feel the tragedy as much as like the show was obviously expecting to portray. So honestly, it was a fantastically made scene. Coming from the more, you know, the more analyzing side of it. You know what I mean? But from an emotional perspective, like, you know what I mean? I sit here and I watch it happen, and I am more sad for Kariya than I am the person who's dying, because he's just been through so much, man. The amount of shit that he's had to go through for Sakura's sake, right? Her daughter, yeah. And she goes along, like, and she, you know, she says shit like that. I get it, you know what I mean? She's, like, obviously in a state of, like, trauma that you know what I mean? It's her husband, you know what I mean? But considering the fact that, you know what I mean, I don't know how long these two have known each other, but, you know, to say that you've never loved anybody before, that is a step too far. So I don't look at what Kariya did as, like, a sort of, like, a bad reaction to that, considering everything that he's been through. And, you know, coupled with obviously the fact that, you know, the madness thing. It just sucks, man. What I fucking, from the very fucking beginning, he's been my boy, man, and, like, it just had to be him who's got the worst fucking got the worst of it, you know. Because even from like before the Holy Grail War started, before any of it even started, he had the least of everybody. You know what I mean? He kind of disowned the whole being a mage for the Maddo family and whatever the fuck, because he didn't agree with what they were fucking what they were doing. He didn't want to be a part of it. And then when he does, he does it so that Sakura won't have to go through with it. You know? And then he gets paired up with fucking Berserker and whatnot, has fucking, you know, lines of incantation, which means that there's fucking, you know, there's that fucking chaos and madness involved in it. So he has a fucking, essentially an uncontrollable servant to deal with. Aside from all the fucking insects and bugs and shit that he has to fucking deal with that are taking away his life force all the time, but, you know. You know what I mean? Then he confronts fucking Tokyomi, and Tokyomi basically fucking belittles him and tells him how much of a fucking boy he is, and how, you know what I mean, he tells him why he gives Sakura away, and, you know what I mean, and I'm fully on board what Kariya was feeling at that moment. And then fucking, instead of, you know, just putting him out of his misery, fucking Tokyomi sets him alight, like one of the worst ways to go, yeah, because I want to root for that Tokyomi, don't I? And then fucking, you know, Kariya brings him back, and then fucking basically uses that to set him up, and now to have that happen. It's like one of the worst fucking things, you know what I mean? Like, you see, when I look at it, right, and I'm like, I don't think Kariya is going to get a happy ending, because I don't see it. I really don't see it. Like, I don't know how we could get a happy ending. I don't, like, because like, this thing's killing him, right? So the only possible way that this will ever end the way that, like, from now, the way that I want it to end is that Sakura's okay at the end of it. As long as Sakura is okay at the end of it, then I think that Kariya has sort of, like, done what he set out to do. And that is literally the only thing I can hope for, because there's literally, I can't see anything else happening unless there's some, like, you know, we've got this magical spell that'll automatically heal you and everyone, you know what I mean? Fate just doesn't strike me as that kind of show. You know what I mean? I feel like there's extreme consequences in this show, so you know, Deus Ex Machina doesn't play a big part in this show, I don't think. And it just sucks. Like, fuck. I think in some regard I fucking knew it as well, because I said at the beginning, like, I root for him because he's the fucking tragic hero. It's just that they played the tragic and tragedy over and over and over again. You know what I mean? Constantly. Like, he never catches a fucking break. You know what I mean? Not only was he doing all this for Sakura, but on that fucking Rin episode, he fucking saved Rin. You know what I mean? So I can't look at Aoi, like, dying there and be like, oh shit, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's why I'm like, you deserve it, but you don't. Like, of course, like, she doesn't deserve to die, and that's not what I mean by I say she deserves it, but she doesn't. But, like, she doesn't deserve my sort of... even to say she doesn't deserve my sympathy is a bit harsh, because I'm like, but, like, you know what I mean? Because I know what everything that Kariya's been through, and for her to say you've never loved anyone, it is a fucking bit too far. Yeah. Anyway, other things that I wrote down. Saber, does she have some kind of sensibility? I think she would, like, she basically, she couldn't find where Ryder had gone, so she closed her eyes and she was like, oh, chariot there, and she opened up her eyes. So does she have some kind of sense? If that's the case, why didn't she pick up where the false Ryder was? I had inklings. Even at the end of last episode, I had inklings that it just isn't right. I like to do what he did, to kill Maya and get the fuck away. So it wasn't like him to do that. And just the way that when after she sensed, oh, he's on the chariot, she turns around and is like, she's like, oh, but we don't have to go searching for her now. I'm like, what? Yeah, that's a bit odd, isn't it? And obviously they didn't show Iri inside the chariot either. It kind of all just made sense at that point. And then it was it was revealed that Berserker has another noble phantasm in which he can like transform into other heroes. And I think that sort of goes back into what he was saying last episode about how he's the shadow of heroes. So that's kind of like being the shadow of a hero is like sort of being a part of the hero itself. So it kind of like merges into that idea that he's able to transform into them, and that word, the way he explains it is makes sense in that regard. Saber's able to affect Watcher's riding as well. I don't know if the bike is like a custom made one, or is it? I think it's custom made, isn't it? I think that's what they said. Emiya had it like custom made or whatever. But it's seemingly she's able to sort of work it past a level which it would normally not be able to get to, which is cool. Also, I want to know who it was that... It must have been an associate of Mato, the guy that Emiya was torturing, I assume. Because obviously, Emiya had figured it out. So, yeah. That's a tough one. That is a real tough one to fucking... a tough episode to sort of... to take. I felt sort of similar in the one where Lancer was killed. But not to this degree. Like, this is like, that thing with Lancer was tragic. This is like, tragic times 10. So yeah, I mean, at this point, Kariya's got to know that obviously he was set up, so he's not, I find it interesting that Kariya didn't just send Gilgamesh to kill him then, because it's not like Kariya's gonna think that like, that he knows that he was set up. You know what I mean? So, he's gonna become an enemy, and like. I would like for Kariya to just, at this point, just go fucking nuts. I'll just fucking, you know what I mean? Like, I just go, damn. Yeah, it's a tough one to take. It really is. But yeah, that was episode 8. So thank you everyone for watching. In the description below, I've links to certain things. One was the Discord. I urge everyone to go over there. I'm over there. My community's over there. Get yourself involved. My website, SirMonkeySuit.com. All of my content is over there. Become a member. Go on the forum. Get involved. And Patreon. I do have a Patreon. If you don't want to support me, that'd be very much appreciated. There's a bunch of different tiers and rewards depending on how much you want to support me with. So there's like $5 a month. That's early access. Gives you access to shows a week early. And also for Fate, you get 4 episodes every week, 2 on Monday and 2 on Friday. Full length, that's at $10 a month. That gives you access to my full length library. Everything I react to gets a full length. $15, that's the exclusive tier, so that gives you access to a bonus show that I'm reacting to, which is either going to be Gurren Lagann or 7 Deadly Sins next. It's currently in the pool, but yeah. Well, actually, as this goes out in the public, yeah, well, it'll be one of those shows anyway. Make sure you go over and check out, see what it is. Elite tier, that is $50. That gives you a choice of a show that you want me to react to, and I will react to it. It'll go to the back of the list behind 7 shows or something like that, but I'll get around to it eventually. Unless you want to jump the queue and not wait, then you want to get God tier, which is $100, and that means that your show will be reacted to next. But that is all, so thank you for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.